Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing good with best of your health. Thanks for joining the session. I'm Shakeel Ahmed from Deanship of eLearning and IT. As we already discussed in last sessions, that this is a series of lectures for Blackboard Ultra, because Jazan University is planning to upgrade Blackboard Learn to Blackboard Ultra. So we have decided to bring all the new features which we're going to experience with Blackboard Ultra. Though we already have all these features and all these tools in Blackboard Learn, but in Blackboard Ultra, they are more compatible and more enhanced version of all the tools. So we decided to bring a series of lectures. In these lectures, we're trying to bring out some specific tools which can help for the teachers to enhance and improve their teaching skills, as well as they are beneficial for the students as well. Till now, we have discussed many tools which are really helpful for the teachers as well as for the students. And today, I'm here to discuss about how to create rubrics for standardized assessments or exams or any kind of assignments. To create a rubric is, like a very best option, symbolically best option for the teachers as well as for the students. In this session, and we're going to discuss a lot of things about rubrics, so stay tuned with me till end of the session. And one more thing, these sessions are more likely to technical session instead of the theory-based session. So they're not pretty long sessions, not 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes, something like that. Might possible within an hour, we can discuss all the specific things, because my target and goal is to make you understand that how practically you can create all these rubrics and how you can use this type of tools practically and inside the Blackboard. We'll prepare some kind of specific demo videos for you where you can have a more understanding that how you can create a rubric, how you can associate a rubric, how you can implement a rubric. So all these things will coming in this session. So stay tuned. So let's have a look, and we're going to take start. First, we need to develop the understanding that what is basically rubric. Rubrics can help ensure consistent and impartial grading and help students focus on expectations. A rubric is a guide for evaluating students' performance related to exams, assignments, projects, and many more things. You can say rubrics are created by teachers to assess students and what kind of a student mean, like assess students' work on the basis of specific, clearly established criteria and expectations of quality of work. And often these rubrics arranged in table format, and rubrics communicate expectations for both teachers and students and include information of what learning outcomes are required from student work. How that work should be measured qualitatively and how a student's work fits into that measurements. So you can see different pictures on the screen that these are basically representation of the rubrics, different type of rubrics. A rubric refers to a formative assessment tool created by teachers to evaluate student work. And rubrics are beneficial to instructors as they provide a noticeable set of expectations and provide a consistent framework for objective and streamlined gradings. So this is one of the important part for Blackboard Ultra. And rubrics are useful to students. The reason behind, because they clearly lay out expectations of what is required to excel on a project, test, or assignments. In simple words, if I explain rubrics in one sentence, so it means the some kind of expectations which gonna be created by the teacher, that what teachers is going to have the goal, or at the end results, what kind of outcomes teacher is expecting from the students. And these all standards and rules being defined and set by the teachers, as they are called rubrics, and students have to follow all these rules to achieve that goal. So it's pretty easy and pretty understandable thing. It can be in the form of like tables, or in the form of I mean, like objective. You have to set the objective, then what kind of gradings and what type of percentage you're going to give inside the gradings, and at the end clearly lay out all these combinedly, I mean, like represent the rubrics. Purpose of the rubrics. What is the purpose of the rubrics? A really important question of the session. That a rubric is a scoring tool you can use to evaluate grade work. When you create a rubric, you divide the assigned work into parts. You can provide clear descriptions of the characteristics of the work associated with each part at varying level of skills. And what part for the student side? Students can use a rubric to organize their efforts to meet the requirements of the graded work. So pretty simple, that when you allow students access to rubrics before they complete their work, you provide transparency into your grading methods as well. So it's simple, 4-point agenda used to evaluate graded work. This is the purpose of the rubric. Divide the assignment work. I mean, like you're going to divide the assignment work in the portions, in the part 1, 2, 3, or the small parts, so it can be easily understandable for the students. And provide clear descriptions. You're gonna tell them what outcomes a teacher going to have, or what kind of outcomes they're looking for from the student side. So students, once they do have the rubrics in front of them, they would have more clear idea what they are going to do and what kind of outcomes they can have it after submitting the assignments. And at the end, the last level is varying levels of skill. So here you can, as a teacher, you do need to have a clear idea and mind making over there, that there are different kind of skills and how you can prepare the students for all these kind of skills, starting from the basic level, from the soft skills till the difficult skills. So you have to set the criteria by yourself, and this is the main purpose of the rubrics to design over here. Now, the question is that how to create. This is a direct jump to the practical side, because earlier we just need to make understanding that what is rubric. Now we are going to discuss how to create the rubric. I believe many of you already using, like from last 3 to 4 years, we are using the Blackboard. I do have a one question over here. If you can quickly answer me for this one, how many of you already using the rubric? So this will give me a clear idea that what level of skills you already have it and what kind of basics I need to discuss in this session. So a quick questions, just answer me in the chat box that how many of you already using rubrics. Or we can make it more simple questions, that do you have an idea about the rubrics and anyone used it or not yet? Okay, no idea. Great. No problem. No worry at all. Anyone else? Anyone else? Do you have an idea about rubrics? Dr. Syed Ayman Hassan. Okay, great. No worries. I do have a complete plan for all of you. By end of this session, we will be able to create, associate, and implement the rubrics, inshallah. But let me know if anyone else do have an idea about rubrics. I believe all the, I mean, this is a live session. We do have many participants in the list, but only one responded, mean rest of them are just logged in left, right? I will request everyone that if you want to learn anything, you have to be connected with me. If I'm asking you any question, you have to answer me, even if you don't know anything, but at least your participation does matter. This will give me an idea that you are with me and you are understanding. If you didn't get the understanding, doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you that how you can use all these tools, but at least connect with me. We are using manually, not Blackboard. Okay, fine, manually. But now onward, inshallah, after this session, you would be able to design or create the rubrics. It's pretty easy. A few steps you need to follow, and you can create everything by, like by the rubrics tool inside Blackboard. Anyone else? We have 30 seconds more to discuss about rubrics. Just give me an idea if any one of you already using rubrics inside Blackboard. No idea? Only 2 persons are interacting with me. Right. Okay. Let's move ahead how to create the rubrics. Okay. Here I do have a demo video that how we can create the rubrics. So please be intact and watch this video carefully, because by end of this video, I'll ask you some more questions, please.
You can create rubrics to use as a scoring tool when evaluating graded work. Let's take a look. You can start the process of creating a rubric from the gradebook or when creating an assessment. In your gradebook, select the settings icon. Then, in the gradebook settings panel, select Create New Rubric in the Course Rubrics section. When creating
all these options are pretty simple. You just need to go to your grading book or assignments and click on the settings, and you can have all the options. Here you need to find out course rubrics and you can create a rubric.
an assessment, you will need to create your rubric before you add questions to the assessment. On the assignment, test, or discussion page, select the settings icon to open the settings panel. In the Additional Tools section, select Add Grading Rubric, and then select Create New Rubric. On the New Rubric page, type a title, and then select a rubric type. By default, 4 criteria rows and 4 achievement level columns appear. You can add, delete, or rename the rows and columns.
There are multiple types of rubrics available. There are different types available. There are almost 4 types, which we're going to discuss in coming slides. So I will let you know that how you can have an idea about the creation of the rubrics. But right now, you need to understand that in the assignment setting, you have to scroll down in the additional tools, and there is rubrics. You have to click on the create rubrics, and then you can find out this like table in front of you. There is columns and rows. We're going to discuss in detail in coming slides that what does it means and how you can set the target over there. So there are multiple types of rubrics. Normally we have used the percentage based, but there are other point based rubrics also available. We will discuss all in detail in coming slides. And one more important part for this like a demo version, that how you can create it, that is like you have to create the rubric before creating the assignments. Once you have done assignments, so before adding the questions in assignment, you have to create the rubric first.
Point to a cell to access the edit and delete icons. Select the plus sign wherever you want to add a row or column and type a title. If you don't want a row or column, you can delete it. The criteria total percentage must equal 100%. If the percentages don't equal 100, a warning message appears at the bottom of the screen. Select Balanced Criteria next to the message to auto-adjust the percentage so they equal 100, or you can manually update the percentages as needed. For the levels of achievement, one column must have a value of 100%. You can align goals with rows in the rubric if you want to measure achievement against the goals set by your institution. Select Align with Goals to get started. When you're finished creating your rubric, select Save.
I have a question over here that how many types of rubrics do we have it? How many types of rubrics we do have it? Okay, 4, great. And One more quick questions. Do we need to add the questions in the assignments before creating the rubrics, or we do have to create the rubric first and then we have to add the questions? Which one is correct? We do need to add the questions in the assignment first or after creating the rubrics? First rubric. Great. It means Dr. Saeed Ayman is with me only. He is listening. Rest all are, like they're away or what? I'm looking for some kind of a response for all the participants. If you are interacting with me, I'm telling you again that this would be more interactive session if you can answer me what I'm asking you. So in this way, I could get idea that you are understanding what I'm telling you. Okay, there are four types of rubrics, and once you have created the rubrics, then you can add the assignment, questions, and rest of the things. Once you have created the rubrics, you can find the similar kind of environment on your screen right now you're looking for. So little more about rubrics. You can create multiple rubrics in your course, and rubrics consist of rows and columns. There are multiple rows and columns available. The rows corresponds to the criteria. So in the rows, you have to set the criteria, and the column corresponds to the level of achievements that describes each criterion. So in the column, you have to yeah, write down the criteria, what you're looking for, and the columns will have the achievements, mean level of achievements, what you like. Criteria is state of positions, support hypothesis, organization. These all are criteria you can set for your students. And the columns, excellent, proficient, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. So this is basically level of achievement the student's gonna get. For example, 100% marks. It means excellent work he has done over there, but proficient mean like 75%, 50, 25%. So it is the level of achievement students been done. It's been already discussed inside the columns. You can create four types of rubrics: percentage, a percentage range, points, and points range. New rubrics have 4 rows and 4 columns. You can add up to 15 columns and rows, and you can delete all but 1 row and 1 column. You can associate rubrics with assignments and discussions. Two important things I just discussed over there, that you can add as much as 15 columns and rows in your one rubric. But if you want to delete the rows and columns, but at least there should remain 1 column and 1 row. You cannot delete all the rows and columns. At least you can, there should be remain 1 column and 1 row over there. But maximum, how much? Maximum 15 columns and rows you can add in your rubric. So let's have a look about the types of the rubrics. There are 4 types of rubrics: percentage-based rubrics, percentage range rubrics, point-based rubrics, and point range rubrics. So you have to be very much clear about all these types, because I'm going to discuss in detail. So later we do have some questions related to types of rubrics. The first one is percentage-based rubrics. For percentage-based rubrics, the criteria total percentage must equal to 100%. You may only use whole numbers. You may add rows set to 0% as long as your total percentage equals to 100. If the percentage don't equal to 100, a warning message appears at the bottom of the screen, and it will ask you that select balance criteria next to the message to auto adjust the percentage. So they equal to 100%, or you can manually update the percentage as needed. So if you are adjusting or creating the rubrics that is percentage based, and there should be 100%, the 100 marks available inside the criteria. If it doesn't appear over there, you can have one warning message. And by clicking on that message, there is, you can say there is a balance criteria next to the message. It will give you an idea and option that, okay, select the balance criteria. If you select on that one, this option automatically adjusts the criteria and it will make it 100% over there. Otherwise, you can do it manually as well. For the level of achievements, one column must have a value of 100%, and you may only use whole numbers. Numbers you can use it over there, and there should be at least 100% column criteria in the achievement level. At least one column should have 100%. You can have an idea in front of you that manually you can adjust it. Organizations, 34% of total grading over impressions, everything. 100%, the writing is fluent, concise and well organized, includes a compelling introduction, strong and informative body, and satisfying conclusions, followed all style and format requirements. So if the student follow all these requirements, so he gonna have it 100%. So overall impressions mean like, for example, they follow all these things. So this is 100% type of descriptions. And 15% of the total grade mean like this does belongs. For example, a student follow all these instructions. So this is a total percentage, meaning like the weightage of the assignment is 15%. Now, for example, he do have the fluent writing skill, concise and well organized, includes a compelling introductions and strong and informative body. So all these, if he follow all these things, so to have a weightage of 15% of the total grading center. So that is percentage based rubrics which you need to set over there. The next one is percentage range rubrics. For percentage range rubrics, each level of achievement has a range of values. When you grade, you select the appropriate percentage level for the particular level of achievements, and the system calculates the points earned by the multiple, and it is multiplying the weight, X achievement percentage, X items points. So there is an option of the point base. This is not a percentage base. For example, there is 100 marks and you are giving them in the form of 75, 60 or 85. So this is point based. So this is depend upon your requirements that you are going to set it in the form of percentage based, or you're going in the percentage range based from 60 to 70 or 85 or something like that. You can have the example in front of you on the screen. This is rubric details and submission criteria, state of the position, and this, for example, if he has excellent from 85 to 100%, you can give them satisfactory from 75. So this is the point-based system, not exactly the percentage-based system. So here, this is basically percentage-based system, but this is a percentage range rubrics. I mean, like, for example, if someone have it accuracy between, I mean, like if they have excellent, so you can assign from 85 to 100% in between, anywhere he can get it the marks. So satisfactory level, it means from 75 to 84%. So this is setup criteria for that one. So the next one is that is point-based, and the point-based, for point-based rubrics, the maximum possible points should be less than or equal to 99.99, and you may only use whole numbers. You may add rows set to 0 as long as your total points are less than or equal to 99.99%. You can have example in the form of picture. You can find out, this is, for example, criteria 1, you have set it down the 10 points. And here, for example, value should be less than or equal to 99.99%. For example, you put it 100, that would not be accepted over here. So you have to adjust according to, this is similar thing, but you just need to swap between the point-based rubrics instead of the percentage-based rubric. It's a self-explanatory, no need a more detailed discussion over it. The next one is range-based. This is a similar, this is a point range-based rubrics. And we have just discussed about the percentage range rubrics, mean like instead of giving the exact numbers from 8 or 10 or something like that, you can set the criteria that for point range rubrics, the maximum possible point should be less than or equal to 99.99. So this is the similars. You may only use whole numbers. So once you set the criteria 1, for example, excellent, you can mark that 8 to 10 points. A student can get not exactly 8 or not exactly 10. So it can be in between 8 to 10, 8, 9, 10, whatever the points. So satisfactory level, you can set from 5 to 7 points, 2 to 4 points, 0 to 1 point. So it's up to you. Whatever the criteria you want to use it, you can use. There are 4 types we just discussed about the rubrics. So it's pretty easy and clear, I believe. So now the time to discuss how to associate rubrics, because there are 3 steps. First one is how to create rubrics. Second one is how to associate rubrics. And the third one is how to implement the rubric. So association means you do have assignments, discussions, and you want to make them grading assignment or a discussion. So you have to associate. You already created a rubric and you want to assign with some kind of assignments. Here we have a very like clear idea that, for example, there is a question sometimes arise that you have created one rubric. Can you, and but a teacher do have multiple classes over there. For example, he is teaching for 2 or 3 or 4 different classes, but the same course. So can you associate the single rubric with multiple courses? So answer is yes. You can create one-time rubric and you can associate that rubric with multiple classrooms. So one time you have to prepare and build all the criteria. You have to save that rubric, and then later on you can use on multiple places, multiple courses, and many other things you can use it. So here is a time to have a look about associated rubrics. So let's take a look in the demo view.
You can associate rubrics with assignments, tests, or discussions. Let's take a look. To get started, on the assignment or test page, select the settings icon to open the settings panel.
Just remember that at the time of creation, you do need to follow the same step. You need to click on the assignment settings, and once scrolling down, there is option additional tool and create rubrics. You have done creation, but at the time of association, you do need to follow the same steps again. Assignments, setting, and then look at that one, that how you can associate it.
For discussions, you must first enable grading before you can associate a rubric. And for assignments and tests, you must associate a rubric before adding questions. In the Additional Tools section, select Add Grading Rubric. You can select View to review the rubric, or select the Add icon to associate.
You can find out the similar option available at the time of select grading rubrics. You can find out there are 2 options available: create new rubric, or you already have created one, that is easy evaluation. So you can find out 2 options: view, you want to view what you have done, and the second one is plus sign. By clicking this plus sign, you are going to assign this rubric with specific assignment.
Associate the rubric with the assessment. When you are finished editing the assessment settings, select Save.
So it was a clear idea that there is one-click availability. Your already created rubrics is available, so you can attach that rubrics. You can associate that rubrics with your like assignment, discussion, whatever you want to make it grading. But at that time, there was one option available that you have to enable the discussion grading over there. Then you can affiliate or associate the rubrics with your assignments at that time. Now the time to understand that how to grading using rubrics, because we just discussed about that, how to create, how to associate. Now the time is how to grade using rubrics. So let's have a look about this one.
After you create a rubric and associate it with an assessment or discussion, you can use it for grading. Let's take a look. From your gradebook, select the assessment you want to grade. On the Submissions page, select a student name to access the submission. On the student submission page, the grade pill displays a rubric icon.
So you can find that once you have done creation, association is done. Now the time for grading using the rubric. So it's pretty simple. You just need to open the grade books. There is a list of students, and you just need to click on one of the students' name whom you want to assign the grading using rubrics. And once you open that interface for that specific students, you can find out there is one grid you can see in front of that. This is basically a symbol for rubric, that this assignment is being associated with one of the rubric, and now there is time to give them grading on the basis of rubrics. So let's have a look.
Select the grade pill to open the rubric in a panel next to the student's work. As you select an achievement level, the rubric's grade pill updates, the criterion collapses.
So here it's pretty simple. Everything already been said. You just need to click, for example, the student to have a criteria. He meet all the criteria. You just need to click on the excellence. So he will receive the 25% marks for this assignment for first part. If you are not satisfactory, mean like it's not up to the standards, you can assign the less marks or 0 marks as well.
The next criterion expands. The rubric score saves automatically as you make selections. Select the X to close the rubric panel. The grade you assign with the rubric appears on the student submission page and in the gradebook. On the student submission page, select the feedback icon to open the Add Feedback panel and type feedback for the student.
So this is what that is really important to show the feedback to the students. You just simply click on the Add Feedback. And you can write a message for the student and click on the save button. But until you click on the post, the student will not have the results on their page. So once you have done everything, see how to post it.
When you're ready for the student to view the grade, select the More Options icon and then select Post.
So that was pretty simple. There were 3 steps that how you can associate, how you can create, how you can associate, and how you can make the gradings. Here I have a question in front of you, like how you can for example, at the time of creation, I told you that you have to put the questions later on, and you have to set the criteria for rubrics first. That was okay. My question is, quick questions. Can we attach or we can associate one type of rubric with multiple type of assignments? Is it? Question is, can we attach one rubric with multiple assignments? I have a question, please. Okay, anyone else? Great. So we can create one rubric, and we can associate that rubric with multiple classrooms, with multiple the assignments, because for example, this is common that one teacher will have multiple classes, for example 2 or 3 classes with similar subjects. So he can create or set the criteria for their assignments. He can create one rubric, and he can assign that rubric for multiple courses or multiple classes as well. So in the end, that's all from a rubric side, because I told you this is a technical session, and it's not pretty long because we are specific with the tools that how you can create, associate, and implement, and how you can make the gradings with the rubrics. But in the end, I prepare one demo video for you that can help you to understand from scratch to the expert level. So let's have a look. This is the last demo video for you, and then we're gonna take the questions for related to rubrics.
So the first thing that we want to do is go to the Gradebook tab located on the top of your screen. And once we're in the Gradebook tab, we want to go to the Gradebook settings, which is this gear icon on the top right. The Gradebook settings then open up. And we're going to scroll about midway through our course. We'll see grade categories, and right below grade categories, we have course rubrics. Now with this big button here, you can create a brand new rubric. You can see that we have those example rubrics here. I'm going to just click on one of these so we can take a look at what a rubric looks like. That has editable fields for criteria. We can edit the titles. We can remove titles. We can add more fields if we want, 5 this way and more going this way. We have each category and the total. We can adjust these based on percentage range, point or point range. And Blackboard has a fantastic video to show you all the different settings of how to build a rubric. So specifically, I wanted to just show you guys how to assign this rubric to assignments, how you can use the same rubric for multiple assignments. So I'm going to retitle this here so we know exactly which one we are looking at, and I'm going to hit save. So they're all alphabetical order here on the right. You can see that my testing rubric is down here at the bottom. And if I want to go and edit any one of these, it does have an ellipsis by the side. I can duplicate, so I can make a copy of this, or I can manage all of these by deleting them. So now that I have a testing rubric out there, I'm going to go into the content of my course. And first, I'm going to find a gradable item. So I know that I have some here in Module 1. I have one that's titled Learning Activity. I'm going to go into this Learning Activity. You can see that it doesn't have a grading rubric here in our settings. So I'll go into my assignment settings. And if I scroll down to the bottom, it will have Use Grading Rubric under Additional Tools. So I can hit Add Grading Rubric. I can then go and find this rubric, and I can either view it and see what one, is this the right one that I want, or I can just hit Add. And now you can see that it has added this testing rubric. In order to remove this, I can just simply hit the trash can icon. I'm going to hit Save at the bottom. And now we can see that the rubric itself is attached to this learning activity gradable item. Going back to my Module 1, I can see that I have a formative assessment. I have an assignment, with a rubric. So if I wanted to assign that same rubric to both of these assignments, I can simply do that by going into the setting of that individual assignment. Go down to the bottom. We can see that this one has one of those sample rubrics. I can hit the trash can to delete it, and then I can add grading rubric. Find the testing rubric and hit Add and Save. So now that testing rubric is being used for multiple assignments. You do have the ability to add this to a discussion. So I have a discussion here, or you can go to your discussion tab on the top of your course, find a discussion, and go in to the settings and find that this one has a rubric. I'm going to hit the trash can, add grading rubric, and I can go down to the bottom and hit Add. So now that grading rubric is used at 3 levels. One is an item, a gradable item is an activity. The other one's an assignment. And here we have a discussion. So you're able to use rubrics for multiple assignments. Now, say I wanted to move this discussion into another course. I can simply copy this. I can go out to that course. I can copy this discussion and move it into that. And if the grading rubric is attached to this, the grading rubric will come with that assignment.
This is another great idea, and that, for example, you have created one discussion in one of the course, and you want to copy that discussion to another course. Similar discussion, you want it over there in another course. At that time, once you copy and paste it in new course, you would have the rubrics would remain associated with this one. For example, you have associate rubric with these discussions and you just copy and paste in another course, this will remain associated with that one. So this is another really interesting idea.
If it is not attached, the rubric will not come to that assignment. Currently, this is June 2022. Currently, Blackboard doesn't have the ability to move rubrics between courses or copy specific rubrics, individual courses. So you want to attach them to an assignment, move that assignment into that next course, and then you'll have that rubric with it. So let's review. You're going to go to your gradebook tab at the top of your course. You're going to go to gradebook settings, which is this gear icon, and scroll down to the bottom and you'll find course rubrics. You can edit a rubric by clicking on the rubric. You can go and edit any of these fields. You can add points. You can change the rubric type, whether it's percentage or percentage range, point or point range. You can name the rubric what you want it to be. Once it's done, then you're able to attach it to assignment.
So that's all from the rubrics. I hope you got a clear idea that how to create the rubrics, how to associate the rubrics, and by using the rubrics, how you can grade the assignments and discussions. I hope I try to bring a very specific demo videos and not try to make it very long discussion so you can have clear idea about the technical sessions and technical, like all these things. If you have any questions, I'm gonna give you options to unmute the mic and you can ask me the questions over there. And here I have one announcement that please rename your name in the in the session, and you have to put your employee ID in front of that one, and then we would be able to assign you the e-certificates. But remember that registration is mandatory and attendance of the session is mandatory to receive the e-certificates. So anyone who want to receive the certificate, they do need to get registered first, and the attendance of the session, both are mandatory. So if you not get registered, you will not receive this e-certificate. That's all from the session, and now I'm here to receive the questions from you guys.